You keep putting yourself on trial for a version of you that no longer exists. The missed week. The promise you broke. The work you knew how to do but did not finish. You call the punishment accountability. It is not. Accountability changes the next decision. Punishment only keeps the old failure in the room. Sweep the ash. Then raise the bar. You know how this cycle works. You disappoint yourself, then make the disappointment mean everything. It becomes evidence that you are lazy, undisciplined, not ready for the life you keep imagining. So you replay the mistake until the replay feels like work. You analyze the same weak moment from 12 different angles. You write a dramatic reset plan. You promise to become perfect by Monday. Then the plan becomes too heavy to begin. When you finally forgive yourself, you swing too far. You say you were tired. The season was hard. You needed grace. All of that may be true. But grace without a new standard is only a softer place to repeat the same pattern. You do not need another sentence explaining why the old behavior happened. You need one sentence that tells the next version of you what happens now. The few do not build identity by pretending they never fell. They build it by returning clean. No public performance. No private cruelty. No lowered bar. Inside the forge, ash is ordinary. Every useful fire leaves some behind. The blacksmith does not kneel beside yesterday's ash and insult the furnace. He clears the floor. He checks the tools. He resets the bench. Then he brings the next piece of steel to heat. That is forgiveness. It is not pretending the last strike landed well. It is refusing to waste the next strike proving how badly the last one missed. But the lesson does not end at mercy. The next blade still has to meet the heat. The hammer still has to land. The standard still has to become visible in behavior. That is responsibility. Forgiveness without responsibility becomes permission. Responsibility without forgiveness becomes punishment. One lets the pattern continue. The other makes change too painful to sustain. The forge requires both. A clean floor and a higher standard. You cannot shame yourself into trustworthy behavior. Shame makes you watch yourself. Standards make you direct yourself. Shame asks, what is wrong with me? Standards ask, what does the work require now? That question is quieter. It is also harder to escape. The work may require you to send the apology. Delete the distraction. Return to the calendar. Finish the draft. Protect tomorrow morning. Admit that the system failed because you left every decision to your mood. None of that requires self-hatred. It requires a clean hand. Some of you are carrying guilt because you think letting it go would disrespect the cost of the mistake. But guilt is not repayment. The repaired behavior is the repayment. The kept promise is the repayment. The finished work is the repayment. The boundary you finally hold is the repayment. Do not build a shrine to the lesson. Use it. The old version of you already paid with time, trust, energy, or opportunity. Do not make the future pay again because you refuse to become different. Sweep the floor. Heat the steel. Raise the bar where behavior can reach it. Here is the clean return. First, write one responsibility sentence. Not a confession. Not a biography. One sentence. I missed the standard because I left the important work unprotected. I broke the promise because I kept negotiating after the decision was made. I stayed stuck because I used planning to avoid being seen trying. Name the behavior without turning it into your identity. Second, separate repair from punishment. Repair makes the future stronger. Punishment only makes the present hurt. If the action restores trust, protects the work, or removes the cause, it is repair. If it only proves that you feel terrible, it is punishment. Choose repair. Send the honest message. Reset the deadline. Remove the app. Block the hour. Put the tool where tomorrow's builder can reach it. Third, raise one visible bar. Do not promise to become a different human overnight. Define a standard another person could observe. The draft is open by 8. The phone stays outside the room. The proposal leaves before revision becomes hiding. The day closes with tomorrow's first action written down. Visible standards create evidence. Evidence rebuilds self-trust. Fourth, make the return small enough to complete today. Shame loves dramatic distance. It tells you the comeback must be massive because the failure felt massive. That is another trap. The next clean strike matters more than the speech about the whole blade. Do one thing before the day ends. 20 focused minutes. 1 uncomfortable email. 1 page. 1 repaired promise. Then stop using emotion as the scoreboard. The scoreboard is behavior. Did you return? Did you keep the new standard? Did the work move? That is enough evidence for today. Tomorrow, bring the steel back to heat. Here is the vow. I will not confuse punishment with responsibility. I will not use forgiveness to lower the standard. I will name the behavior without making it my identity. I will repair what can be repaired. I will release what cannot be changed. I will make the next standard visible. I will rebuild trust through proof. The ash is not my address. The mistake is not my identity. The lesson is not complete until behavior changes. Forgive yourself. Not because the standard does not matter. Because it matters too much to leave it buried under shame. Sweep the floor. Reset the bench. Raise the bar. Then meet it before the day ends. 1 clean responsibility sentence. 1 visible standard. 1 kept action. Return without drama. Build without punishment. And let the next strike prove who you are becoming.